We're gonna restart. So, the girls need to go talk to, what's his face? What's his name? Ariashi, I think. I'm bad. Sorry if it's noisy. It's, like, nice out today. People are mowing and stuff. Because, like, dude, this weekend is going to be great for me. We're going to have a cookout for Mother's Day. I'm excited. The Kurokikyo Cafe. You know, normally you'd be breaking school rules just by stepping foot in a cafe. I was right, it was Ariashi. I'll be in hot water if you lied about having permission from the police. Remember that. We know. It'll be okay. So, what did you want to ask me? I have so many questions, Ariashi. But apparently, there has to be something. A cafe! I've never been to one before. How exciting. It's pretty smelly inside because of the cigarette smoke, but... Mockingbird number 8 discovered. It is Sparring Sparrow Bros. Yeah. They're cute. They're cute. Nothing else to look at. Can't look at Ariashi. I guess we'll just talk about my curse stone. Yoko, if you would. Right, we wanted to ask you about this. Oh my, a curse stone. An Okame mask. That must mean the Fool's Procession. You two were at the school last night? Damn, they're of all places. Yako, you're one of them? You're a curse bearer? Please calm down, Mr. Ariashi. Your reaction is too intense. It's kind of scaring me. Sorry about that. I'm afraid I got ahead of myself. What is it that you wanted to know about your curse stone? What would be the best way to approach this? Flattery. It's just... a brilliant teacher like you must know an awful lot about these curse stones. Well, it's true that I'm likely the person most well-versed in this matter. You're the only one we can count on, Mr. Ariashi. Won't you help us, please? Oh, am I now? In that case, there's no harm hearing what you have to ask. Thank you. Let's see. Why is everything with the Rite of Resurrection and 7 Mysteries curse stones happening now? Oh, taking an interest now that you've received one of these curses, have you? You sound like a researcher starting your questioning with your subject's origins. Mr. Ariashi, you're not the one who triggered the curse, are you? No, I'm afraid I had nothing to do with that. Rather, I wasn't even attempting to do so in the first place. Completing the rite itself has nothing to do with my research. Then, do you know of the ancient Onmyodo ritual known as the Feast of Shadows? What is that? Something from the occult? Miss Kurosuzu, you look like the type to be interested in those things, but it's outside of my field of expertise. In that case, why do you think the rite and the curses have appeared now? I believe this is the intentional work of someone. It's certainly not something that would happen by accident. Why is it that you want to know? Well, you may not tell us anything if we say that we're trying to stop the curse. We need to make something up. Right. Make something up. Well, you see, we just have such intellectual curiosity and think it could really help your research. I see, now that you mention it. Seems like he's reluctant to answer. Then how about... then what does that record of fates that you've been researching say about the Rite of Resurrection? Oh, I see, that's what you want to know. Allow me to first elucidate you regarding the author of the Record of Fates. A special privilege, I might add, since I have yet to publish this in a paper. Yes, quite. Yeah. Okay. The Record of Fates was written 200 years ago in the latter half of the Edo period. It was written by a skilled but little-known onmyoji called Simon Tsukimikado. Tsuchi? This is important stuff. If nothing else, remember this. Simon Tsuchimikado? I've never heard of him. I'm sure you haven't. He was born into a famed onmyoji family, but split away to practice forbidden arts in secret. He used whatever name was most convenient for the situation, so his real name barely exists in records. Or so it is written in the Record of Fates. Huh? As brilliant as Simon was, he was also an eccentric. He delved into researching the Rite of Resurrection, a legendary forbidden ritual that has never been completed. However, by involving himself with this forbidden ritual, he was expelled from his family, and eventually found himself in Honjo, in Edo. The Record of Fates are the writings Simon recorded on the road to Edo. I see. So he wrote how to perform the rite itself? The Rite of Resurrection makes use of Abe no Saime's speciality, the Taizan Fukun ritual, a means of communicating with the afterlife. It uses soul dregs to replicate the soul of a dead spirit that has been called. Oh wow, I never knew something like that existed. Thus, it is thought the only ones who can use it are those with the ability to turn human souls into soul dregs in the first place. So, the Rite of Resurrection calls for that ritual to be performed in advance. Then, when the soul dregs are gathered and infused with the wish of whoever is performing the ritual, it can be completed. The contents written in the Record of Fates end there. There's no more? What about the 7 mysteries or the curse stones? There's nothing written about them in the Record of Fates. The curse stones are separate from the Rite of Resurrection. Their curse is one used to enable one who is unable to perform such rituals to be able to use the rite. Huh, that's similar to what Mia said, actually. I'm still so happy. Ugh. Wine, good food. Can't win. Like, I cannot say anything else. This is a great day. So, I'm going to blindly guess here and say Ariashi knows who invoked this curse, whatever, started everything off. And I'm going to guess also that it is the soap lady. That's what I'm going to guess. It's either the soap lady or the serial killer guy. Or even crazier, it's the serial killer guy and the soap lady. Wouldn't that be something? What if they, like, were cooperating? Maybe they know each other. I'm trying to think. I don't know how old soap lady is. But it is definitely possible that they knew each other back before he went to prison. It is absolutely possible. Yeah, for sure. I think the soap lady is working with somebody. 100%. Because people already say that she has, like, abilities, you know? I think Ariashi does know her. I think Ariashi is paying, or she is paying Ariashi to fuel his research. I think that's where he's getting the money from. Because he needs to get paid in order to do research. That's the way research works. So, like, when I want to say a scientist, but it doesn't have to be a scientist. It can be anybody, really. When somebody wants to do research, they need money to do that. A lot of times, scientists or researchers or stuff like that, they get grants from businesses, sometimes the government, but usually it's businesses, I think, that are interested in what they're researching for whatever reason. So I think what's happening here is she's paying Ariashi for his research to help her find out how to complete the rite, basically. I think she wants to use that to keep herself young and beautiful and alive. Does that make sense? Because she's, like, obsessed with looking young and staying young forever or whatever. I think that's what's happening. Because there's a lot of times, like, the government would, like, fuel research for something if it was potentially a weapon or something like that. At least in the States, that would be something we would do. If they're researching something that could become a weapon, or they could use it as some kind of defensive thing in the army or whatever. So I could see that being the case here. She's fueling his research and using him to find stuff out. That's what I think. Anyway, that's my guess. How are the 7 mysteries related to the rite? Excuse me, Mr. Ariashi? What is it, Miss Kurosuzu? You published a theory before the incident took place. It said that the rite of resurrection and origin of the 7 mysteries of Honjo are related somehow. What proof did you have of that? You really know your stuff. But about that, that was a somewhat sensationalized piece written for occult magazines. Oh, really? It was just nonsense then? Not exactly, rather. It's not a complete fabrication. There is a basis for it, and that is, well, I suppose there's no harm telling a couple of students so passionate about this topic. Thank you. This is something I discovered from referencing numerous texts unrelated to the Record of Fates. It was just after Simon arrived in Honjo. There are records of a conflict over a ritual used to resurrect the dead in Honjo. A conflict over resurrecting the dead. I don't know the details. A man enticed the public with claims of a spell that could resurrect the dead, causing a conflict that ended tragically with 9 dead. That is the only remaining reference. 9 people fighting over a resurrection ritual. I call this tragedy the Honjo incident. It has long been a subject of my research, and I suspect that this Honjo incident might be the very origin of the 7 mysteries of Honjo. So what you're saying is, the resurrection ritual at the root of the Honjo incident is Simon's rite of resurrection? Yes, that is how the Record of Fates ties everything together. To put it in chronological order, first, Simon brought the rite of resurrection to Ito. We can assume that by this point, Simon was likely using a different name. Then, in Honjo, 9 people fought to the death over this rite, the Honjo incident. After that, the incident was covered up by an interested party, preventing it from being recorded in history fully. Eventually, it was passed down in incomplete pieces, becoming known as the 7 Mysteries of Honjo. That's more or less the course of events. So, the 7 mysteries we've already talked about, the 7 mysteries are actually 9 mysteries. So, each person that died was a curse bearer. Curse bearer? Unless that was the cause. Unless that was the cause. So that's how they're connected. Then if I'm getting this right, the 7 mysteries were basically required to gather the soul dregs necessary for the rite. How were the 7 mysteries related to the rite? And then there's more. With this most recent occurrence of the curse, I become even more confident in my theory. You are? Yes, the reason for it being the resentful memories of the 7 mysteries etched into those who received the curse stones. Resentful memories. Yako, if you really are a curse bearer, then when you obtained your curse stone, you would have had a resentful memory imprinted in your mind. Oh, I did. Exactly, those memories are what happened in the final moments of the 9 who died in the Honjo incident. Broadly speaking, they involved dying while bearing some kind of deep resentment. The 9 victims became the 9 curse echoes, which over time came to be spoken of as the 7 mysteries, thus gathering the resentful memories granted by the present curses and connecting them together. It will reveal once and for all what happened during the Honjo incident. Huh. That's why you must tell me about the resentful memory of your fool's procession, Yako. Mio, should I? Yeah, I think it's okay. We need all the information we can get. Okay, Mr. Ariashi, I'll tell you about the memory of the fool's procession. Excellent. So basically, it's about a woman who died falling from a Yagara tower at a festival. Interesting. It's not that one, then. Not that one? What do you mean? Among the 9 victims of the Honjo incident, that is to say, the 9 curse echoes, one of them is Simon himself, or so I suspect. Huh? Simon was one of the victims of the Honjo incident too? Meaning an onmyoji as powerful as him also became a curse echo? Right. It would make sense that the curse stone tied to a curse echo like that would be special. The power of a curse stone is different based on the curse echo? Mio. Then maybe it was Simon's curse echo we could... Yes, we may be able to settle this whole situation. Hey, what are you two whispering about? Oh, nothing. Sorry. Mr. Ariashi, how many of the resentful memories have you gathered so far? I have learned a number of them. The Evergreen Beach, the Foot-Washing Mansion, the Ever-Burning Lantern, and now the Fool's Procession makes 4. Of those, the most important are the Foot-Washing Mansion and the Evergreen Beach. What are they about? First, the Foot-Washing Mansion. An Onmyoji appears distinctly in this one. Really? But not Simon, I'm afraid. A female Onmyoji who sought the rite of resurrection due to her obsession with her personal appearance. Her legs, which she had always taken pride in, were stricken with corruption after she was defeated by Simon. Her curse echo is notable for being particularly easy to fulfill the requirements necessary to use the curse. That detective did well to escape this one. So a female Onmyoji and rival of Simon were involved in the Honjo incident. That certainly is interesting. Next, the Evergreen Beach. This curse echo is from the craftsman of Netsuki carvings named Jinkichi, who was hanged for spreading baseless rumors. He apparently spoke of something that granted the ability to bring back the dead. The rite of resurrection, precisely. This man, Jinkichi, must have been in contact with Simon. If I could just collect all of the memories, everything will be revealed, and then the truth of the 7 mysteries will be mine. That is the knowledge I desire. Meaning, you need to gather as much information as you can from the curse bearers. Precisely. I am in agreement to exchange information with those detectives, but they might not even find the other curse bearers, so I must make measures of my own. What's the trigger for the curse to occur? Another thing, yes? You never really finished about what the trigger for all this was. Well, I don't know. Really? You're not hiding something from us, are you? It has something to do with how you obtained the Record of Fates, right? How did you really get a hold of the Record of Fates? To tell you the truth, we're in a race against time. It could be a disaster if we don't hurry. What are you talking about? Someone left a warning that at sundown today they would use the curse to kill a lot of people. The one who left that message is the culprit behind the Najima murders from 20 years ago. What? Something so terrible will happen? I won't allow potentially hundreds of people to become victims of a curse. I'll do anything in my power to stop it. Mr. Ariashi, please, tell us everything you know. I'm sorry, but I truly don't know anything. The truth is, I was given the Record of Fates by a woman. Fucking knew it. A woman? Well, her voice sounded like a woman's, but I didn't actually see what she looked like. 1 month ago, while I was investigating at night, I suddenly heard a formless voice. A woman's voice? It said, I entrust you with this ancient manuscript, and the rite of resurrection held within its pages. Spread rumors of this ritual as far and wide as you can in the coming month. And before I knew it, an old document had fallen down at my feet. 1 month. She specified the time period. I was told if I did that, I could study the manuscript as much as I pleased. I wanted so badly to verify its authenticity, I ended up accepting. I haven't heard anything from the voice since then. It must have had you spread rumors in order to strengthen the power of the curse. I know. To tie together the curse and the desire to seek out the right. This makes it likely that the owner of this voice is the mastermind behind all of this. Hence, I went public with the Record of Fates. Haihaku and occult magazines immediately jumping at the news was a financial boon for me. Huh? Haihaku? As in Haihaku soaps? Right, I mean, no, that's not important. Just some personal business. After that, I waited, trying to predict what would occur in a 9 months' time. Or in a month's time. That's when the curse began. Those are all the details I have. Is there anything else you know? Very well, I've told you this much, I may as well tell you one more thing. Thank you. What might it be? About Simon's Record of Fates. There is a sort of continuation to it, another document called the Record of Fates Yin Scroll. A continuation? Actually, a section written in Simon's own hand was appended to the manuscript. According to which, after the Honjo incident, Simon lamented such a calamity taking place. He apparently wrote the addendum for the event that the tragedy became its own curse. It seems he had an idea that the victims of the Honjo incident would turn into curse echoes and be used to gather soul dregs. It supposedly details how to handle any trouble that occurs as a result of the rite of resurrection. Really? Hold on a second. Don't you find that strange? What's the matter, Miss Sakazaki? You think my information inaccurate? If Simon died in the Honjo incident, then he couldn't have written the addendum. You really don't get it, do you? Huh? Am I wrong? Have you forgotten the ability Simon possessed? Of course not. He could use the right of Oh! You're telling me Simon used it on himself? The rite of resurrection can be carried out in advance so that it activates when the soul dregs are gathered together. Then is it not possible that Simon himself was resurrected by the rite after it all took place? But he'd still have to collect the soul dregs needed to use the rite. Yes, and that's why they died. The 8 others besides Simon. What? They died in the Honjo incident for their soul dregs? That sounds like it's the same as what's happening now. That's why I need the resentful memories to learn the truth. I get it now. The issue at hand is that the Yin Scroll and the Record of Fates were supposed to have been passed down as a set. When I received the Record of Fates, the Yin Scroll was gone. Only this information was left. Supposedly, Simon's blood descendants guarded it as they passed it down across generations. It seems that over their long history, the 2 documents became separated and the scroll's location lost as the family line branched. Simon has descendants? So there's someone out there related to him by blood even now? Yes, in fact, I've tried to trace the line as far as I could. He wasn't a well-known Onmyoji to begin with, so a detailed family tree does not exist. It seems likely that the use of the manuscripts has been long forgotten, only being passed down out of tradition. Thank you for the resub, Falls. 24 months. Wow, tier 3 sub too. And since they aren't even aware of what they have, tracking it down is quite tricky indeed. I wish I could ask whoever that voice belonged to about the Yin Scroll. I'm sure you do. So basically, in the Record of Fates Yin Scroll, Simon himself wrote about ways to handle the curse and the rite, yes? Yes, that's right. I've been searching for it all this time, but haven't found a single lead. So if you two find out anything about other resentful memories or Yin Scroll, tell me immediately. You owe me that much for telling you all this, do you not? That's the real extent of everything I know. Yes, I understand. Thank you for your help. If you bring me some useful information, I'll take it into consideration for your school grades as well. Ha ha ha. Douchebag.